Hey guys, so the last thing I did was a little improvised solo, and I just want to show you, get into like the art of soloing a little bit. There's filling when you have to fill with a band, which is another thing. There's improvisation when you're playing jazz. There's improvised solos, like on my pictures at an exhibition playlist. There's a lot of like drums with a theme, the art of drumming with a theme, but it all boils down to vocabulary and interpretation and concept. So by vocabulary, I mean when I play a drum solo or I'm filling, even in any endeavor, I'm pulling things off my head. Rarely do I think like a lick, unless I'm doing like a real time thing. Then you may do things. You have to play what's right for the music. We know that. I've always spoken about that. I speak about that in most of my videos. And you think certain things have to be very time oriented, and good time, I mean metronomic time. But for the most part, it's still vocabulary, and it's stuff off the top of my head that I come up with. And to be a good improviser, you have to have a good vocabulary, which means that all the things you've worked as a younger guy and all the things that you've experienced on the drums, they all come together. And it's like another language. And then you eventually let things go, and things happen. You start to play. So I wanted to just show you certain things, a couple things that I made a drum solo out of that it really sounds simple when you get down to it. Something as simple as this. Right? Sped up. But slowly. You've heard that. Another thing is so it's all about interpretation, it's about dynamics, it's about what I put into it, emotional. And that's something that rarely guys talk about, but something so simple that say I do that over and over again, but with dynamics. You see what happens? So it's really not as much as the lick as but what you do with it. Something so simple like this. Here's another example of something. Concept. Up. And all I really did, I added a couple notes, but it's still that basic idea of a little concept of and doubling up with the bass drums. So you see what happens? You work on all these little things and they all come together. And you start really playing, you've heard like Dave Weckl with the electric band, and all that stuff, Vinny, it's all the stuff on top of really on top of their heads, that they come up with this stuff because you're not really thinking about even a certain player anymore. You're able to just let things go, and that's why basics are so important. My primary series and this little series of soloing that I'm going to do. The art of soloing, I'm calling it. And, it brings so much joy, and there's so much musicality that you can bring to a drum solo. So instead of just playing it as loud as you can and fast, there's all the stuff that we can do to play musical. And that's another thing I like to, you have a theme. You may have to have a theme. You may play to a certain rhythmical rhythm, or you may, you can double bass drums, do an ostinato with the bass drums, like Terry Bozzio has done, and it's endless. So until next time, it's food for thought. It's good things to think about, and keep on drumming. All right.